The Reckoning is incredibly disappointing. And to summarize first, I'm going to talk about the negatives in the map, with the biggest flaw being this god-awful story. First of all, no intro cutscene without anything to make up for it. Second of all, Panos and Blanchard are completely useless in this story. Third of all, not a single mention of Ava Jensen, so this shit didn't matter. And fourth, the terrible ending cutscenes. Both of them have the exact same ending, and additionally, there is not a single line of dialogue in any of the in-game cutscenes. It's a joke. You both unleash the entire multiverse with no reaction to it at all. And Sam's ending is 100% not canon at all, given that it would have been mentioned in MWZ that she's alive, especially with how much they talk about her, and with how much this crew talks about wanting to help Richtofen and not let some AI possess Sam's body. It makes no sense why they would ever side with Sam. And then on top of that, this ending cutscene, man, you have no idea how pissed and confused I am. I made an entire video on this. I begged and pleaded for this to not happen. But no, I guess I should just go fuck myself, because why? Already, we have no dialogue outside of this line.
Welcome to the party.
No meaningful or earned resolution to the entire story of this game, and a complete undoing of the BO4 ending that I actually enjoyed. Craig, what are we doing? Nothing in this entire game matters outside of just the multiverse coming back. This ending was so bad, the entire community has collectively lost their minds. We can't wait for you guys to watch our hot garbage cutscenes. The only thing I'll give this is that all the characters look really cool, but even then, who the hell are you? This is not the same person.
Like Takeo, he looks like a pilot.
He looks like a completely different fucking person.
Yeah, he doesn't look like...
And for some reason, Dempsey has a low taper fade. I don't know what's going on there. And the only thing we learned from the intel on this map is that Samantha is a bop, and the Forsaken literally killed her because she's weak and chopped. You're weak, chopped, and a bop. Worst Samantha of all time. Like, how the hell were you stronger and way more intimidating as a 10-year-old child? And I know some people are saying that she went out this way because Julie Nathanson isn't voicing her, but I don't agree, especially given that Richtofen's cutscene doesn't have any dialogue either. And I'm sorry, but I have to say this. Julie Nathanson is not a very good voice actor, so whether or not her replacement does a better or worse job at being a VA doesn't matter to me, because they are both so cringe with their line delivery. Matter of fact, most of the VAs are not doing a very good job either, besides like Richtofen and like Peck and a few others. Most of the characters in the cast genuinely sound like this.
Tell this asshole if he wants to learn how to make my product, he's gotta do it my way. The right way!
I speak English.
So you understand what asshole means? Now go get me my phenylacetic acid! Asshole!
How long is it gonna take you to get him what he needs?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Several hours at least! I can wait! It gives us time to talk about the state of this lab! Don't you have standards?
Who do you think you are?
This story has just given me nothing but pure apathy.
Apathy is death, worse than death, because at least a rotting corpse feeds the beasts and insects.
And has made my expectations of Black Ops 7 somehow even lower. And we also got some intel on what the next map will be, which is also not Transit. I swear to God, stop saying that. I'm at a total loss for words on how you could fuck up this badly. Even Revelations has a better ending than this. Now, the next thing I gotta mention are both of these boss fights, because the Sam one is so mid, and I genuinely hate the Richtofen one. This fight isn't even hard, it's just obnoxious. You got these hit scan Wunderwaffe shots, and if you get hit with 3, you're instantly dead, especially with his high fire rate and stunning abilities, which he spams all the time, and his 2 million phases where he is constantly flying up and running away. This fight is not good at all, and I hated every minute of it. He has a good first phase, it's just the second one that ruins it all. When did Richtofen get Boba Fett's gear? I don't understand. Next thing I gotta talk about is both bad and good, and it's the Wonder Weapon. Now, I like the design. It is awesome aesthetically, and I love that you kill the Forsaken to get it. But holy hell, both variants and the base variant are big stinky garbage. And what sucks is that this wonder weapon would be so damn good if it was in the earlier games, but because it's in this game, it's genuinely the worst wonder weapon in the game. Now I'm going to explain why, especially for high rounds. This wonder weapon's charge shot does not slow the zombies down at all. Now this is bad because super sprinters just run through the AoE so fast that it only gets 1 tick of damage off per zombie. So you have to constantly spam the charge shot to kill the horde. However, this isn't good enough either, so you have to also spam shock charges to stun the zombies so you can keep spamming the Gorg effects to stay alive. And what makes this even worse is the fact that a million doppelgas spawn every round and cockblock the Gorg effect shots, making this issue even worse. And then you have Uber Klaus, and the wonder weapon does absolutely nothing to him at all. These high rounds are just straight up bad, and they would be so much better if Treyarch didn't have such a hard-on for reusing enemies for some reason. Doppelgas not being on this map would already make this wonder weapon so much better, but knowing Treyarch, they're not going to remove doppels from the map, so the only thing that they are going to do is most likely just buff the damage on the Gorg. But to be honest, I think just adding a slowing effect to the acid pools would be enough to make this wonder weapon not bad. And that's all the negatives covered, so let's hop into the positives. Number 1, I love the layout of the map, and using the map traversal is actually really fun and cool. I love the aesthetic, and it's one of the most unique maps in the entire game. I also love the new enemies. The commando classes are awesome, and I absolutely adore the Uber class. He is so fun to fight, and blowing off his armor pieces is so satisfying. As well as him just talking shit about how he's going to murk you gives him probably the most character in a boss enemy that we have ever gotten since George Romero in Black Ops 1. He is without a doubt my favorite enemy that modern Treyarch has ever made. Also, the main Easter egg quest is really awesome. It is the best quest in the entire game. Also, despite the quality of the boss fights, the fact that there is 2 is really cool. On top of that, there's also hardcore versions of them past around 100 with fucking amalgams for some reason. I want to say I like the side Easter eggs on this map. The caster turret I don't care about, and the other ones are the usual for this game, like power-ups and stuff, or a chicken bucket that does literally nothing. But what makes me conflicted is the fact that the ether blade is on the map, but we literally can't get it. Or at least we can't get it yet. You see, there is one side Easter egg we haven't figured out yet. It's the safe side Easter egg. Basically, step 1 is to drive an RCXD under the Forsaken and blow up this crystal. Grab a key and try to find the safe it's in. The issue we've been having is finding the safe. Now, we believe it's behind this painting in particular. The issue is, we have no idea how to open up the painting to get access to the safe. Now, according to the files, there is a line associated with finding a safe due to the help of Mr. Peaks, aka the Mr. Peaks field upgrade. However, we can't fucking use the field upgrade because it's locked behind an event. So this side Easter egg, as far as I'm aware, is literally time gated. If this is true, this is genuinely the worst design for a side Easter egg of all time. And I seriously cannot understand how stupid you have to be to think anybody would enjoy a time-gated side Easter egg. This blows, but the reward is genuinely gonna be awesome, and there could maybe even be an upgrade quest for the Ether Blade. But yet again, we don't have it, and we're stuck waiting until this stupid event happens. Also, the new song for this map is pretty good, and I'm glad Elena finally makes her return. But that's pretty much it when it comes to talking about the quality of the map. It's got really good parts, but also really bad parts that are just absolutely terrible. And it's really disappointing given how much they hyped up this map. This is the second most divisive map in the entire game. How much you enjoy this map really just depends on what aspects of a zombies map are really important to you. This map will not be very good for half of the player base, and it shows with how many people are upset right now in the community. Personally, it's my third favorite map in this game, with Terminus and Shattered Veil being above it. But overall, this map was very disappointing to me, and I do wish we got a perk this season. There is also no super Easter egg at this moment, so that will most likely come with Season 6, or maybe we just won't even get one at all, who knows. Now, the rest of this video is going to be about the fact that I still firmly believe Transit is not going to be in Black Ops 7. And to explain why, I'm going to tell you why I think the gaming revolution is wrong on this topic.
Panos also says, I saw through the mist and fog. This is already starting the transit illusions. Fog and mist that is hard to see through is a telltale sign of iconic visual features of transit, whose thick fog separated the various locations, and of course we just had the fog rolling in Easter egg on a Shattered Veil, so it's clearly on their minds.
Yeah, well, it makes sense given it's in the heart of the dark ether, which is going to look different now that the Forsaken is dead and gone. And it's obviously going to have a very dark tone given how important this place is. Fog doesn't equal transit. Panos also says this when describing the map.
Though this place was shrouded by darkness and tainted by trauma, I saw lights. I saw brightness. From the fields, I glimpsed a farmhouse.
A farmhouse also doesn't really prove it's transit. It's just a farm. It's not really a crazy concept.
A sunken town, rustic and ravaged by age.
Now this doesn't sound like the town from Transit to me, given that the town from Transit is more ravaged by destruction more than anything else. The place looks fucked up, not old. So why would he draw attention to the age of the place rather than how destroyed it looks, if it was really the town from Transit?
A cabin overlooking the inky black water of a lake and a pyramid somehow floating.
Now with the lake, there is not a single lake or mention of one within Transit. It makes no sense, especially within the cabin area.
In the distance, a single tower still stood tall.
This tower sounds more like the water tower from the teaser than the electric tower from Transit, especially given that if it was that electric tower, you would think he would talk about the massive sprawling cornfields with how grandiose and in-depth he's going with these descriptions.
Though I was alone, I knew no fear as I walked across this unfamiliar realm.
That line right there proves my entire point more than anything. He says unfamiliar place. So this map cannot at the very least have any resemblance to Liberty Falls because he fucking works there. It would be familiar to him. So why would he describe the map as a place he's never seen or been to in any capacity if he has worked and lived there? But of course, I don't think you would bring it up or talk about that line because it makes your theory of Liberty Falls inclusion in the map completely wrong.
He goes on to mention another place, less specifically named, but once you figure out what it is, it's the nail in the coffin for this being Transit. He says, when I felt a yawning hunger deep in my belly, the voice guided me towards a place of nourishment. My eyes feasted upon its saturated colours, and my appetite was swiftly sated. The thirst was soon quenched. I knew for sure this was so much more than a mere dream when I read the sign. Well, this at first sounds overly verbose. Let's break it down a bit. Pano said that he was hungry, the voice guided him to a place of nourishment, somewhere to eat. Then he ate and drank. Then he walked outside and saw that the place had bright, saturated colours, and then read the sign. So he went somewhere you could eat and drink, had bright, probably neon colours, some kind of sign. Sound familiar? It sounds exactly like Diner. It seems to me that we are looking at what is essentially a hard confirmation of a Transit or some kind of Transit remake as the launch map for Black Ops 7 Zombies.
This sounds more like a place of power. With the way he describes it in this grandiose way, it can be interpreted as anything, not just a diner. Additionally, there's no fucking food in the diner, so I don't know how he was literally starving and ate there. You're taking a grandiose line and trying to act like it's an exact description of what happened. And I think when he said he read the sign, I think he was talking about that he understood whatever guiding entity was trying to tell him. Not that he literally read a sign, but that's just my interpretation of that line. And it matches with how grandiose and vague he's being in this entire intel.
The map that's been rumored to have a transit-esque transport system, which aligns with the fact that Ted is being granted as a Vol Edition bonus for Black Ops 7.
Wow, this proves literally nothing at all. Brutus was a pre-order bonus for Black Ops 6. Wasn't really proof we got a Mob of the Dead remastered Black Ops 6.
And then Panos also says, in the distance, a single tower stands tall. That seems to line up with exactly what we first predicted when we saw that first Black Ops 7 Zombies teaser, that this was some sort of transit but mixed with Liberty Falls, and that large silhouette we saw in that clip was indeed the Janus Towers, despite how much many people said I was crazy for saying that at the time. You can clearly see in the background there's a silhouette of what many people think is a silo, but I do actually believe it's one of the cooling towers for Janus Towers, and this makes so much sense with what we've just seen in the ending cutscene for Reckoning, because the Terminus crew get teleported essentially inside of the Dark Aether's core itself. They get transported into the Sentinel artifact in some kind of pocket dimension. We know Black Ops 7 Zombies is within the heart of the Dark Aether, and they have then met the original characters here, and we can see they are in the spawn room of Reckoning. This to me suggests that this is going to be where the launch map is going to be taking place, but it's not just going to be the Janus Towers we know. It's probably going to feature many other elements from all of the points of interest we've seen on Liberty Falls and maybe some new ones. Maybe we could just see one of the towers. It's sort of broken up and mixed in with some transit points of interest as well, as the different locales are sort of bleeding together. together.
Yeah, like I said, this is complete bullshit. And the more you keep adding on to this, the less sense it actually makes. They just got teleported back to the spawn room, not the dark ether. What are you talking about? I just really don't want you guys buying into this shit again for the millionth year in a row. There was a ton of people upset about the fact that we didn't get transit in Black Ops 6, and it was literally for no reason. I just really don't want you guys to be one of those people who buy into the fact that it's transit and then get disappointed over nothing. And I also ask, yet again, why would you guys even want it to be transit anyway? This is the same community who bitches and moans about reused assets and Treyarch not being creative enough. Reused enemies, reused assets, reused wonder weapons. This community complains about it all the time. That's half the reason this ending cutscene is getting hate, because it's just the original characters again. But when we get a new wonder weapon, this community also gets upset because it's not the Cerberus, or people begging for basically a remade map, with the jet gun being the wonder weapon again. We complained endlessly about getting remade maps for the Ether story, and then we start getting original maps and people are complaining about not getting a remade map. I'm pointing this out just to make it very clear how stupid this community is, and I genuinely mean it. It is seriously a joke. Personally, I don't want the only round-based map in BO7's launch to just be a remake. Maybe some references like Ted driving the vehicle or something, maybe the Avogadro returning, I would think is cool, but an entire remake is not something that I want. A bonus DLC like Chronicles would be fine, but it shouldn't be the main bread and butter of this game. I want new, I want original, I want creativity, and I at the very least try to be consistent with that stance. So please, all of you, do not buy into this shit until we get the reveal on August 19th for what the map actually is, not the vague theories based on nothing. And with that said, I'd like to thank all of my members for supporting me and this channel. But anyway, bye.